Group members are here. Aina Sophia, Annie Chong Hui Hing, Nurul Alia's group, Nur Ani Sophia's group, and Nurul Shahira's group. You all here?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay, so I will start recording now. Okay, recording in a moment. Okay, recording started. Okay, let me share my my screen first. Okay. Okay, so we are going to start with this group first, Nurul Shahira's group. Okay, today we are discussing on tutorial 1. Okay, before that, if you notice in your e-colleague, I have posted a few announcements on your quiz, on your tests, and on your assignment. Okay, but if you have any questions on that, don't worry, we'll discuss it tomorrow during your lecture hours. Okay, so today's class is all about tutorials because I'm afraid we don't have enough time to discuss all the answers. Okay, so the question, tutorial 1. Okay, this is a question about medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. Advances in sciences and changes in medical practice challenge the contention on whether the doctor really knows what's best for his patients. Medical paternalism no longer receives unquestioned acceptance by society as a dominant mode for decision-making in healthcare. Today, the principle of patient autonomy and self-determination has emerged as a dominant ethos in healthcare. Okay. Analyze this statement in light of the conflict between medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. So, normally when you are given an essay type question, okay, and it is about a particular statement, that statement can be any statement, or sometimes it can be a statement taken from a case, quoted from a particular case. Okay, what you have to do is you have to understand the statement. Okay, do not simply answer this part. Okay, analyze this statement, blah blah blah, without taking into consideration the statement itself. Okay, there must be a reason why the statement is that. Okay, so in your answer, the way you draft your answer, you have to relate your points with the statement. What is the statement about? Okay, this statement seems to support what? Is it medical paternalism or patient's autonomy? Which one? Nurul Shahirah, Nurhanis Nuha, Nazatu Izati. Yes, I need answers. It's tutorial. I'm not supposed to be talking to myself. Hello? Hello, are you listening?
Yes,
Okay, so I just mentioned a few people's names just now. Why are they not answering? Or anyone can answer, other groups can answer. I'm asking, what is this statement about? Does it support medical paternalism or does it support patient's autonomy? Patient's autonomy. So in your answer, okay, you have to relate your answer to this statement. Do you agree with this statement? Okay, because from what I can see from most of the answers, you don't seem to relate any of your answer to the statement itself. Okay, you simply talks or discuss about medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. That's it. Okay, when you are answering essay type question, whenever it is referring to a statement, okay, you have to relate it to that particular statement. Okay, what that statement is about. Okay, if it seems to support one side, okay, do you agree with the statement? Okay, you can agree or disagree. You can give your own comments, you can give your own opinion, you can give your own suggestions. Okay, I have not finished checking all. Okay, I thought I'm going to have time this morning, but my meeting extended until 1 just now. Okay, so We're going to do it now. Okay, I've already looked at two or three groups, I think. Okay, and I also have an example of answer, okay, from your seniors, okay, about the same question, okay, which we are going to look later. Okay, but basically, if you notice in your e-colleague, I have put what we call a slide on guidelines on answering law questions. Have you looked at it? Anyone? Yes?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay, so I don't know whether the majority of you even care to look at the slides or not. Okay, because most of the answers are not up to my expectation. Okay, normally when you have essay type questions, it's 25 marks. Okay, the scope is big. Okay, so you're supposed to have different paragraphs. Okay, you're supposed to have an introduction. You are supposed to have content, the body of your answer. Okay, your points, and you are supposed to have a conclusion. Okay. When the question talks about two different terms, okay, there's two terms there, medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. You are supposed to define both terms. Okay, so this group started with a vital but difficult principle of professional medical ethics is the autonomy of the patient. Okay, the ability to freely and independently think, blah blah blah, is referred to as patient's autonomy. Okay, this implies, okay, so you have a definition there, and you have okay, you have the explanation, okay, some sort of explanation, okay, on patient's autonomy. Okay, you can look at my comments here at the side here. Can you see it? My comments? Okay, I'm using Google Documents, by the way. And then this group started to explain what paternalism, okay, definition of paternalism, okay, and explanation. Okay, good. Okay, you started. Okay, okay, you seem to have defined both terms. You give your explanation. Okay, and then you're supposed to give example. Example can be from your own example. Okay, how can you illustrate medical paternalism? Okay, it's when a doctor makes a decision, okay, with regard to a patient's well-being because he thinks that this might be good for the patient's health. Okay, let's say the doctor decides to perform any type of operation towards a patient. Okay, that's medical paternalism. That's a very simple example. Or if you don't know how to give example, you don't have any idea, you can give a very brief example referring from any cases. Okay, this group states the case of Shrondaf. Okay, please guys, this is a homework. Okay, you have time to do this. Okay, you have a few days to do this. What happens with your answer? Okay, the citation of the case. Okay, mana you punya capital letters and everything? Where's your full citation? If you are in final exam, okay, I can accept if you just give me like Rondolph's case, Rondolph and Society of New York Hospitals case. Okay, I don't require full citation, but this is a homework, so give me full citation. Okay, and please look at your submission. Do proofread your submission before you submit it to me. Okay, don't give me unfinished work like this. Okay. So you state example of the case that decide with medical paternalism. Okay, what do you mean by decide with medical paternalism? Okay, the sentence itself doesn't seem right. Okay, perhaps you wanted to say that example medical paternalism is illustrated. An example of medical paternalism is illustrated in the case of Schlewendorf. Okay, so when you wanted to illustrate a particular matter, okay, you quote the case Schlewendorf. Okay, normally you would have to state the facts of the case. Okay, so that's facts of the case. Okay, and this is the decision of the case. Okay, but you are simply taking facts and decision, and you state the facts and decision here in your answer. You did not discuss anything about medical paternalism. Okay, so I don't really get your point, okay, in stating this case. Okay, what is you have to have your own explanation about the case. Okay, I understand you wanted to talk about the facts, the decision, Okay, but you are supposed to illustrate medical paternalism, so you have to explain in your own words, okay, what is medical paternalism. Or perhaps you can discuss the obiter of the judge in this case, okay, Justice Benjamin Cardozo. He said, every human being of adult years and sound mind has right to determine what shall be done to his own body. Okay, oh, sorry. Before that, this is wrong. You talk about medical paternalism, okay, but the decision is that the court, the way you put the decision is that it's as if it does nothing to support medical paternalism, okay, because see the decision here, if the physicians violated the patient's commands, the responsibility was theirs, not the hospital, okay. So it doesn't tally with your statement, okay. You wanted to illustrate your medical paternalism, okay, but you are giving facts which seems to support patients' autonomy. Okay, so I cannot accept this kind of answer. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Okay, next, patient's autonomy, on the other hand, refers to, okay, again, more explanation on patient's autonomy. Okay, and then more explanation. Okay, you've already explained patient's autonomy. Okay, one or two explanation is already enough. Okay, the next you should do is perhaps give one example about patient's autonomy. Okay, again, example of the case that decide with patient's autonomy. Okay, there's something wrong with this. Okay, you wanted to illustrate patient's autonomy. It doesn't mean that this is decided with patient's autonomy. Okay, rephrase. Okay, now this is the case of Chester and Afsha. Okay, so I would want you to explain this case in your own words again. Okay, because you are illustrating patient's autonomy. Okay, I don't get your point. Okay, next. Okay, this is something that really irritates me whenever I check tutorial questions or assignments from students. Okay, remember, I am teaching medical law. Okay, I read medical law papers. Okay, I can memorize the wordings already, the sentences already, so I know if you cut and paste from any paper, any website or whatever. Okay, so this, okay, some parts here, okay, conflict between these two concepts, predominant, blah blah blah. Okay, please do not simply cut and paste. Okay, and combine it into one answer. Okay, are you listening, the group members?
Yes, madam.
Nur Shahira, Nurhanis, Nuha. Is it this group? Itulah. Nazatu Izzati, Anur Maziah, Nur Izzati, Izzati, Mariatu Kiptiah. Okay. Please don't do this. Okay. I am someone, representative from the group. Did you cut and paste or what? I need an answer. Yes, anyone? Where are the group members? Are you actually here or not?
Yes, madam.
Okay, who is that? Who answered just now? Are you the group member?
Yes, madam.
Your name, please.
Nazzatul Izzati.
Nazatu Izzati. Okay, did you just cut and paste the answers here?
Yes, sorry, madam. But we changed a little bit, but yeah, mostly we copy paste.
Okay, you changed, but I can still recognize it. Because I've been going through this for a long time already. Okay, I can recognize any materials, okay, which you may cut and paste from the website or whatever. Okay, so please don't do that. Okay, prefer simple language. Okay, but you answer it short and sweet. Okay, you go straight to the point. You don't have to talk about all these things. Okay, if you wanted to talk about medical paternalism and patient's autonomy, then obviously we are talking about the existence of doctrine of informed consent. Okay, doctor's duty to disclose risk. So just simply explain this. Okay. Okay, so you stated here medical paternalism, which is being criticized for violating the doctrine of informed consent, causes another issue. What issue is it? It symbolizes the broader idea that everyone has the right to choose whether or not to receive any medical treatment. Okay, this doesn't make sense. You are talking about medical paternalism. Medical paternalism is what? Doctor makes the decision, right? Okay, but then your next statement, it symbolizes the broader idea that everyone has the right to choose whether or not to receive any medical treatment. This is patient's autonomy. Can anyone reply? Because your two sentences does not relate to each other. Am I making sense here? What about other groups? What is your opinion? Yes, anyone?
Madam, all you are saying makes sense, and I'm afraid even our group might be foul of some of the things you mentioned.
Okay. Okay, thank you for speaking up. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, medical paternalism, and then you talk about everyone has the right to choose whether or not to receive any treatment. Okay, this does not make sense. Okay, so be careful with your wordings. Okay, it has to make sense. It has to has a flow. Okay, what are you talking about? What statement are you going to make? Okay, so you make a statement. Normally, you make a statement followed by your authority, your explanation, your example, and then authority. If you have any case, support it with the particular case. Okay. Okay, again, more and more explanation on paternalism. You already explained that. Okay, now I wanted to know, I wanted you to relate it with this statement. This statement is about, it talks about change of support from medical paternalism to patient's autonomy. So how do you illustrate that? From cases. Okay. I don't know why you are not using any of the cases that we have discussed in class. Okay, this is a 25 mark question, okay? Obviously, I'm going to need more than just 2 cases. Okay, what are the cases that talks about change of situation, the change of, what do we call, support, okay, from medical paternalism, okay, towards patient's autonomy. Okay, so you talk about the position in US, you talk about the position in UK, you talk about the position in Australia, you talk about the position in Malaysia. Okay, you can give a lot of cases and only when you give all those cases, you explain all those cases, only then you will get 25 marks. If you just touch and go here and there, okay, you, for this answer, okay, I'm not even going to give you half of the mark. Okay, you're not even going to get 12, I think. So please be careful. This is essay type question. Okay, it's supposed to be easy. Okay, because all it's a homework. Okay, you can refer to your notes. Okay, you can do your research. Okay, I think you have made the mistake of not understanding the question, perhaps. Okay, that's why you answer it like this. Okay, you don't know the scope, perhaps. Okay. Okay, again, you are repeating yourself. You keep talking about explanation about patient's autonomy, but you don't show me the changes. Okay, now I've highlighted this one because I believe this is your last paragraph, so it must have been your conclusion, right? Okay, for conclusion, okay, I said you have to relate with the statement. Okay, and normally in your conclusion, you give your own opinion, whether you agree with the statement, whether you don't agree with the statement, whether you think you have any suggestion, okay, to give, okay, to solve the problem. Okay, so this group states, okay, conflict between medical paternalism and patient autonomy can be cleared up by encouraging collaborative decision making, where doctors and patients work together to gain a consensual understanding, okay, and agree on a suitable treatment plan that is consistent with the patient's values, preferences, and needs. Okay, so this I can accept it. Okay, as a suggestion. Okay, this is how you draft your conclusion. Okay, but everything else, okay, your introduction is okay, your conclusion is okay, your contents, not okay at all. Okay, I cannot accept your cases because it doesn't make sense. Okay, you give the wrong case for the wrong statement. Yeah. Anything to say, group 5? Perhaps you want to defend yourself or whatever.
No, madam.
So you just accept it, is it? I'm going to give you around 5 marks. Will that be okay? Will that be okay?
Yes, madam. Sorry, madam.
Salah. Okay. Now, okay, which group is this? Nur Izzati, are you in this session? Yeah, in session 1, right? Okay, let's look at this group next. Okay, I haven't gone through this one. Okay, first paragraph, okay, which should be about introduction. Okay, introduction, either you define, okay, you elaborate, and then you give example. Okay, so this group starts with medical paternalism. Okay, definition of medical paternalism. Okay, I think I'm going to do the editing later. Okay, so let's go through one by one first. If not, we're going to lose time. Okay, this is good. This is the explanation. Can you see the flow here? You start with defining the medical paternalism first, and then, in other words, okay, very simple words. Okay, patient doctor himself decides whether patient should seek for the treatment or not. Okay, okay, very simple elaboration. Okay, or example. Okay, okay, and then why was this position accepted? Okay, because at that time, okay, medicine was not understood by the general public. Okay, so they rely on medical practitioners' knowledge. Okay, but now, okay, in the present time, the concept of patient autonomy is more widely practiced. Okay, and then followed by definition of patient's autonomy. Okay, and then a simple explanation or elaboration of what autonomy is. Okay. Okay, then next paragraph, the predominant conflict is in the doctor's duty to disclose the risk of such treatment. Okay, concept of medical paternalism and patient autonomy are very different for every patient. And then you go on again and started explaining more and more about medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. Okay. Furthermore, the concept of patient's autonomy can be supported by many authorities. Okay, this is just further elaboration, about patient's autonomy. Further elaboration about patient's autonomy. Then you give me the case of Schwandorf. Okay, elaboration about patient's autonomy. And then okay, now you are giving me a few cases. Okay, you're giving me the position in US first. The United States case of Canterbury and Spence established that respect for the patient's right to self-determination necessitate a legal standard for a physician rather than one that physicians may or not impose on themselves. So the doctor must disclose all material risks inherent in a proposed treatment. Okay, but you are simply giving me 3 cases, okay, without having a strong statement on why are these 3 cases stated here. What are you trying to say when you give me the case of Schwandorf? What are you trying to say when you state the case of Canterbury? What are you trying to say when you state the case of Rogers and Whittaker? Okay, please remember, for every paragraph, you cannot simply start with a case. Okay, what? You have a statement first, okay, followed by case. Is it clear? What is your statement? What is it that you are trying to say here? Perhaps you wanted to say that. Okay. The trend, okay, in the decision of the courts, okay, have changed, okay, from supporting what do we call, medical paternalism, okay, towards more and more support on patients' autonomy. Okay, some examples can be seen in the US cases. Okay, in the case of Canterbury, for example. Okay, so that's how you give your cases, how you give your authority. You have to have a statement. The cases are just a supporting authority to your statement. Okay, you don't start your paragraph like this. Okay, by simply putting Rogers and Whittaker case without explaining why you wanted to quote Rogers and Whittaker. Okay. Next, from all these authorities, it can be said that the application of patient autonomy is one big factor to be considered in making decisions. Okay, this is already your conclusion. Hence, this conflict may be resolved with the process of shared decision making. This way, the relationship between autonomy and beneficence can be harmonized. Okay, so all this can be your opinion, your conclusion, your suggestion. Okay, so for opinion, conclusion, suggestion, I may give you around 3 marks maximum, 3 to 4 mark maximum. Okay, so you are losing a lot of marks on your content. Was it clear? Group Nur Izzati, Nur Admi, Nur Akila, Nur Anis, Wan Nur Atira, Rosh Shazilatul. Okay. Okay. We are losing a lot of marks. Okay, you have the same problem with the first group just now, group number 5 just now. You don't understand what you're supposed to explain here. You're not analyzing the statement. You are simply reproducing cases to me, okay, without stating why you wanted to give these cases, why you wanted to quote this. Is it clear, guys? The group members?
Yeah, madam.
Okay. Okay, so that's group. 2 groups now. Okay, let me show you an example of your senior's answer. Okay, just so that you can see clearly what I'm trying to say, what I meant by analyzing the statement, okay, and relating it to conflict between medical paternalism and patient autonomy. Okay, okay, there's a lot of mistake as well in this group. Okay, but at least I put the comments there. Okay, so introduction is, I think it's simple. Okay, you want to define medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. You wanted to give explanation and you want to give an easy example, a very simple example. Okay, which this group has done. Okay, this one is medical paternalism. Okay, okay, this is because I can detect plagiarism here. Okay, they cut and paste from this particular website. Okay, and then this can be seen in the judgment of the case. Okay, like I said, you don't start your paragraph with a case. Okay, what statement are you trying to make to support it with this case? Okay, so this perhaps is this one. Okay, the group is trying to talk about prudent doctor tests. Okay, but it's not clear because the group simply states the court decision. The court upheld clinical judgment regarding the disclosure of information about the procedure. And that's it. Okay, so I don't understand. I wrote here what is your point and how do you relate to prudent doctor test. Okay, next. Okay, this is a view supporting patient's autonomy. Okay, and this is the definition of patient's autonomy. Okay, so okay, you're done with introduction. Introduction should be brief. Okay, to define, to explain. Okay, next you should go for your points, your contents. Okay, what is it that you wanted to say about the statement? You wanted to say that this statement seems to show the change of support, okay, from medical paternalism towards patient's autonomy. So how can you illustrate that? Okay, this can be illustrated by a few cases, a number of cases. Okay, so you start. Which country you wanted to start first? Okay, this group wanted to start with England. Okay, but they explained the case of Bolam. Okay, so this is just cut and paste lah. Okay, what is the fact in the case of Bolam? What is the decision? But what is your point in explaining Bolam's case? Okay, your paragraph should always start with a point. The Bolam's case is just a supporting authority. Okay, so what you should do in your answer is you should explain on doctrine of informed consent, because this doctrine originates because of the conflict between medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. So this is supposed to be your content. Is it clear, guys? Okay, when more and more support is given towards patient's autonomy instead of medical paternalism, okay, there exists doctrine of informed consent. So you explain a bit about doctrine of informed consent and you illustrate it by cases, okay, and then you explain the approach of informed consent in different countries. So you include US, UK, Australia, and Malaysia, okay, and you give the cases. Then only you will get full marks. Okay, now I'm repeating myself. Okay, see, same mistake. Okay, in 1985, the case of what is your statement first? There's supposed to be a statement with a case. Okay, so for example, okay, what kind of statement should you put there? Okay, in your content. Okay, the UK court's opinion concerning doctrine of informed consent leans towards paternalistic approach because they are strong supporters of the Bolam principle, where reasonable prudent doctor test is applied. These can be seen in the case of what? Okay, Sidaway. Is it clear now? This is how you answer essay type question. Okay, you don't simply give me cases after cases without showing what you wanted to say about this case. Okay, anyone can reproduce the fact of a case, okay, and decision of a case. Okay, that doesn't mean that you will get marks for simply reproducing cases, facts, and decision. Okay, I want more than that. Okay, I want your statement. I want your answer. What are you trying to say? Okay, same same mistake here. Okay, however, in the case of Chester, blah blah blah. Okay, what is the statement? Okay, let's say, however, UK court's strong support towards Bolam principles started to change in the case of Chester and Afshar. Okay, and then you state about the case of Chester and Afshar. So now, from these two paragraphs, we can see that UK used to support medical paternalism, but is now slowly turning towards patient's autonomy. Okay, and then okay, you wanted to go to Australia. Okay, what is the position in Australia? Okay, Australia has even gone is even more advanced, okay, than other countries perhaps. Okay, in the case of Rogers and Whittaker, okay, what is it about this case? Okay. This case shows supports towards patient's autonomy. Then you explain what is the fact of Rogers and Whittaker. Okay, and then what is the decision, okay, in Rogers and Whittaker. And then you explain another case, perhaps. Let's say for each country, you give two cases. Okay, that would be enough. Okay, if you give one case, I don't think that's enough. Okay, you have to give two cases. Okay. Remember, when the question asks you to analyze, okay, this is a high-level type of question, okay, which tallies with the mark, 25 marks. Okay. Analyze means you're supposed to do a lot. You're supposed to compare and contrast. You're supposed to look for advantages. You're supposed to look for weaknesses. Okay, you're supposed to criticize. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you can state in your answer. Okay, so Rogers and Whittaker. Okay, and also the case of Nazakis. Okay. What about the position in Malaysia? Okay. In Malaysia, the medical jurisprudence also shows a shift from medical paternalism to patient's autonomy. Traditionally, the standard of care of doctors had been determined by the Bolam test. Then you state one case which follows Bolam. Okay, however, the recent position is illustrated in the case of what? okay, Tan Ah Kau, okay, where they adopted the position in Rogers and Whittaker. Then you explain the facts and the decision. Okay. In the case of Fu Fiona and Hospital Asunta, for example, the recent ruling of the Federal Court, okay, has decided that Bolam principle is no longer to be applied to doctors' duty to disclose risk. We are now following the Rogers and Whittaker test. Okay. So it's very clear in your answer that even in Malaysia, the position has changed towards supporting patients' autonomy. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Yeah,
Okay.
madam.
Okay, so you can see that this group has stated a very long paragraph about cases. Okay, but it doesn't mean that when you answer this long, I'm going to accept all your answers and give you marks. Okay, because if your answer does not make sense or there's no statement supporting the cases, then you don't deserve any marks. Okay, this is, see, cut and paste. This one, cut and paste. Okay, and then you close with your conclusion. Okay, in your conclusion, remember, I said you can suggest, okay, how to solve the conflict between medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. Okay, you can criticize, okay, you can give your stand whether you agree or disagree with the statement. Okay. Okay, so I am going to upload this in your e-clip. This one example. Okay, and I am also going to check all the remaining. I've only checked 2 groups, right? We've only discussed 2 groups. There's 5 groups, meaning there's 3 other more. Okay, we have another 15 minutes. Okay, let's look at another one group. Okay, don't worry, after this, I'm going to upload all the check tutorial answers in your e-clip in a folder so you can download it and look what was wrong in your answer. We just covered this, right? This one, Putri Nozahira, which group? Not this group. Okay, other session. Siti Nordiana. Another session, is it? Siti Nordiana? Oh,
Session,
you're in this
madam.
session. Okay. Okay, so we're going to look at your group's answer. Okay. Tiba-tiba terus datang Hippocratic Oath. Why? Remember, introduction is supposed to be simple. You won't get, the maximum you get is around 4. Same like conclusion, around 4 to 5 only. Okay, the rest is your contents. Okay, so should we have this? Okay, perhaps you can have this. Okay, but summarize it. Okay, if you go and talk about Hippocratic Oath, okay, in this line, okay, it's just irrelevant. You can go straight to this paragraph. You define medical paternalism. Okay, you elaborate medical paternalism. Okay, there are several advantages to medical paternalism. Okay, you have all the cases. Okay, let's see if you can relate this with the statement. Okay, I can accept this as further explanation about medical paternalism. A case to illustrate medical paternalism is the case of Canterbury and Spence. Physicians have a duty to disclose information to patients in order to obtain informed consent unless physician determines that patient is not capable of understanding information. Okay. This is further exemplified in the case of Schröndorff. Okay. Overall, the aforementioned cases illustrate the importance of informed consent and the role of patients in making decisions about their own medical care. They also demonstrate that medical prison can have legal consequences if healthcare providers fail to respect patients' autonomy and rights. Okay, and then you go on by explaining more about patients' autonomy. More and more explanation. Okay. Okay, do not state cases like this. Okay. You start your paragraph with as referred to in the case of Rogers and Whittaker, and then you start talking about the case, the facts of the case, the decision of the case. But what is it that you are trying to say? Can you understand? This is simply reproducing facts and decision of a case. Again, next, in the case of Chester and Afshar. Okay, why did you put these three cases in a row? What point are you trying to make? Okay, this is an Australian case. Okay, this is a UK case. Okay, this is a Malaysian case. Okay, what point are you trying to make? Are you trying to show the position in different countries? Then you should have stated so. Okay, you are simply giving example of cases on patient's autonomy. Okay, but you are not relating it to the statement. Okay, and then in the next paragraph, we start talking about disadvantages or conflicts. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then you go to your main point. Dan nak habis dah, baru you go to your main point. The main issue that highlighted the conflict is on doctor's duty to disclose the risk to the patient. And then you quote the decision of the judge in one case. And that's it. Then you conclude. Okay. So again, your scope, your flow is not correct. Your scope is not correct. Okay. Okay. In relation to the position in Malaysia, patient's autonomy has been applied in most of the decided cases involving medical negligence, which can be seen that Malaysia are departing from the principle that has been applied in the UK, which is medical paternalism. Okay. Patient's autonomy has been, look at your statement. In relation to the position in Malaysia, patient autonomy has been applied in most of the decided cases. Where are these cases? Did you provide it here? No. You only provide one case. So how can you support your statement? Is it clear? You're supposed to, if you wanted to make this such a statement, then you are supposed to support it with all the decided cases. Okay, you wanted to show that in Malaysia, this is the position. Okay, we are supporting patients' autonomy. Okay, we are now departing from the principle that has been applied in the UK. Where is it in your answer that you says UK applies medical paternalism? Did you state in any of your answer? None. Right? No. You have not stated anything about it. Okay, why are you talking about it in your last sentence? Okay, whereas this should be your main points. Okay, so please, okay, do not make such mistakes. Okay, in future, in your final exam, especially. Okay. Any question? So we've covered three groups. Okay, two more groups that I haven't checked. Okay, but I will check later, and I will upload all 5 groups corrections. Okay, in e-colleague. Okay, with the markings and everything, with the comments. Okay, normally the comments will be in this form. You tengok lah kat mana. Kalau see, kalau this one, okay, please state correct and full citation. Or do you prefer me to do it like this? Which one do you prefer?
I prefer if madam do it like this, so we know.
This one?
This one, madam.
This one? This one, is it? You don't want to see like this?
Yeah, we need your comment.
Okay, no comment. So I put it like this, right? It's easier for you to see it. Okay. So I just edit it like this. Okay, I will normally yellow is when your point is correct. Red is when your point is wrong or meaning it's not accepted. Okay, this one is because apa ni? Cut and paste ni. Blue is normally for cases. Okay, see, all cases I put blue highlight. Okay, yellow is for points. Okay, your statements. Itulah normally. Red is for wrong, errors. Okay. So I'll finish all the finish checking all your tutorial answers later. Okay, and I'll put it in italic. Basically, what you need to know is that in definition, it's supposed to be simple, short and sweet. Okay, define the two terms. Okay, medical paternalism, patient's autonomy. Give elaboration, give example. Okay, very simple example. You can give your own example. Okay, if you don't know that, you can quote from a case. Okay, and then you talk about the statement itself. You analyze the statement. Okay, the statement is talking about change of support from medical paternalism towards patient's autonomy. So how do you illustrate that? Okay, you talk a bit about, in your first point, you may want to talk a bit about the conflict between medical paternalism and patient's autonomy. Okay, what caused this? Okay, and it brings to the existence of doctrine of informed consent. Okay, for example. Okay. Or this is a conflict in relating to duty of doctor to disclose duty to disclose risk towards the patient, right? Okay, so how do you illustrate the change of support, okay, from medical paternalism towards patient's autonomy from cases? Okay, so how do you give the cases? What is the flow? Okay, perhaps you wanted to start with UK first, okay, because UK is a strong supporter of medical paternalism, okay, but it's now slowly changing towards patient's autonomy. What are the cases? Okay, and then you go to US position perhaps, okay, you give 2 cases each, okay, in UK 2 cases, in US 2 cases, and then you go to Australia. Australia is more advanced compared to other states, okay, and you give 2 cases in Australia. Okay, and then you give lastly you give Malaysian position. Okay, in Malaysia, you may want to give one case which shows the previous position. Okay, we used to follow Bolam. Okay, what case is it? Okay, and the new case. Okay, the Fufiona case. Okay, and the current position. Fufiona refers to the current position. Okay, we are now following Rogers and Whittaker. Okay. So in for Malaysian case, there's a lot of cases you can refer to. Liu Sin Kiong and Dr. Sharon Paul case, Kamalam and Eastern Plantation, Tan Akau and Government of Malaysia, Fufiona. Okay, and then after you have stated all that, okay, you can conclude your answer. When you conclude your answer, you state your own opinion. Do you agree with this statement? Okay, that we are supposed to be supporting patients' autonomy, okay, as compared to medical paternalism. Do you agree with it? Or do you not agree with it? Okay, if you have any suggestion to settle the conflict, what is it? Okay, so normally we can have the process of shared decision making so that both doctors and patients would be satisfied. Okay, doctors are able to give his opinion, his knowledge towards the patient, and patients are able to give his thoughts, okay, to relay his thoughts to the doctor. Okay, so they came to decision, they both came to the same decision at the end. Okay, so it's a marriage between the principle of beneficence and autonomy. Okay, is there any question? Yes, any question, guys? Anything you don't understand, or perhaps you think the way my expectation is what, doesn't make sense, or is it too high? Do you think you can do this in your final exam? Yes, anyone?
InsyaAllah I do.
To reproduce something complete like this in the final exam for myself will be going to be tough lah.
Okay. But at least you should know the flow, right?
Yeah. I would like to say probably I don't know about others, but thank you so much because you're the first lecturer who is doing this. The last 2 years, you're the first lecturer who is doing this, who's dissecting a question together with us and telling us where we are going wrong and setting us straight early in the game. So
Okay.
thank you very much.
Okay, I've been doing this a few years already, and I've been getting good comments from students because they say they see it clearly when I do it like this. Okay, because when you taught the same subject for a few years, okay, then you start to notice the same mistakes. So I ought to give you the what is my expectation earlier so that you don't repeat the same mistakes in your test and in your final exam, right? Okay, so basically it's not that perhaps because the mark is 25, so you feel that there's too many, okay, to state in one answer, okay, perhaps, okay, but basically you should have the general idea, okay. Introduction, how you are supposed to answer, okay. Conclusion, what is supposed to be included in your conclusion. Contents, okay, how should you draft your statement, okay. There should always be a statement, then only followed by a case. You don't want to give case without knowing why you are quoting that particular case. I do not want a reproduction of notes in your answer. Okay, I want to know why you are stating the case. That's just it. Okay. Perhaps after this, okay, you guys can have a look at your e-colleague. I have put the slides, okay, on guidelines in answering the question. Okay, there are guidelines for both essay and problematic question. I have used the same slides in ILAB workshop. Okay, workshop for law students. Normally we give it to first years so that they know how to answer questions. Okay, because law questions are different, okay, from other subjects. The answer expected is different as well. Okay. Anything else? Okay, if there's nothing else, I have to join the other session, session number 2. Okay, thank you for joining. And once I have uploaded the corrected versions of your answer, I will inform in your group. Okay.
Thank
So
you,
I'll
madam.
stop. Okay, welcome.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
I'll stop
Thank you,
recording.
Vida.